Welcome to Go Math Lesson 11.3. Today we are measuring and drawing angles, and there are a couple things to keep in mind as we do this. The first thing that I'd like you to keep in mind is that all protractors are different, so you really have to take a look at them before you start using them. Some of them you are going to align as this one is. Let me just backtrack just a second. An angle is made up of a vertex, a center point, and two rays. So on this protractor, the vertex goes right in this hole, and then there's this line here that we line our bottom ray up with. Other protractors you may see, you may line up, there may be no hole or line there, you may be lining up right on the bottom here and lining your ray up down here. So on this one though, they do have a center point that they want you to use, and that's what we'll do. So before you even measure an angle, you should look at it and you should make some decisions about it. Is it acute? Is it obtuse? Does it seem to be right? This angle opens up more than a right angle, so this is obtuse. So I want my answer to be more than 90 degrees because it's opened up more than that. So what I do is I put my vertex in the center point here, I line up my ray, and I start at 0 and I count all the way here until I get to my protractor line. And so I take a look at that, and one thing that you might want to do that might help you very much is to take a look at what it is between. Now this one is between 110 and 130. And halfway between 110 and 130 is 120. So this is a 120 degree angle. And does that make sense? Yes, we wanted it to be more than 90 degrees. Okay, so if we take a look and go to the next page, let me get my mouse to work here. If I take a look at this next angle that I have right in my picture, I look at the angle and I first see that's smaller than 90 degrees. This is an acute angle. Notice this one opens up this way, where my mouth is kind of this way instead of the other side. That's why a protractor has numbers coming from 0 on both sides. So this is going to be less than 90 degrees, so that's a good thing to keep in my mind. So now I start at 0 and I read up. So I come up 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 60 is on this side, and 70 is on this side. So halfway between 60 and 70 is 65 degrees. So this is a 65 degree angle. Now when you want to draw angles, you're going to start by drawing a ray first, and then marking with your protractor. So if I'm going to come down here and draw a 78 degree angle, I start with a ray. It doesn't matter which direction. Now I would place on here my protractor and I would measure up 78 degrees. And if I think about that, that's going to be less than a 90 degree angle. So I don't have my protractor function working here, unfortunately, but it's going to be about here. So I'd put a mark on my protractor there, and I'd use the straight edge to connect the two, and I would make that a ray. So this is about 78 degrees for my angle. So you start with a ray. It can be in either direction. It could have even have gone this way. Okay, put my protractor on, and I start from 0 and I measure. Now this is 170 degrees. A straight line is 180 degrees. So this would be almost, I'd count all the way around to 170 degrees, which is almost a straight angle. I hope these little strategies help.